tutorial is going to cover file input. Before we begin, make sure that you have Java and the Java JDK downloaded on your computer. You can run java-version in your terminal to check. Also make sure that you have IntelliJ downloaded on your computer. It suggests that you watch the previous Java tutorials in this same playlist. Files. In order to read from a file, you'll need to create a file object to read from. So the way that you do that is file f equals new file, and then in quotes the file name. And at the top, just like with the scanner, you have to import java.io.file. Okay, so file name paths. An absolute path specifies a drive at the or a slash at the top of the folder. For example, on a Windows machine, you would have c:/document/hello/test/hello/example/hello world.txt. And then a relative path does not specify any top level folder. For example, hello world, and that would just go based off whatever the base folder is for the path. Figuring out your working directory, or what the base folder is for a path. Your working directory is where all your relative paths will start from. You can figure this out by printing out system.getProperty_user.dir. And that'll tell you what the base property is, so where all your relative paths will come from. So here are some file methods. Once you've created a file, you can do can_read, which returns whether the file is able to be read, delete, which removes the file from disk, exists, which will tell you whether this file exists on disks, getName will return the file's name, and link will return the number of bytes in the file. Reading from a file. You need a scanner to read from a file. After you create the scanner, you read from the file the same way you would read from system.in. For example, next int, next, etc. So here are two ways to do it. The first way is to create the file explicitly by saying file, capital F, file equals new file, example.txt, and then scanner input equals new scanner, and then file, passing it the file object you just made. Or you can create the file object explicitly inside the scanner. So scanner input 2 equals new scanner, new file, example2.txt. So here's a quick review of scanner methods. There's nextInt, which reads an int from the input and returns it. NextDouble, which reads a double from the input. NextLine, which reads a one-line string from the input. Next, which reads a one-word string from the input. And then there's hasNext, hasNextInt, hasNextDouble, and hasNextLine. These will check to see if the next whatever is available on the scanner. If it's true, you have something else to grab. So look out for file not found exceptions. These show up whenever you try to create a scanner to read from a file object for a file that does not exist on the computer. It can also happen if the file exists but you use the wrong path to get to the file. So we have a single exercise for this one, and it's this one. Let me split the screen here. So I'm going to create a new package. I'm going to call this package file input. Then new Java class, file input example. Public static. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out what my base directory is. So I'm going to system.out.println system.getProperty_user.dir. I'm going to do run file input example. Okay, so my base directory is the Lunch and Learn project that I'm in. So that's good to know. So that means whenever I create a folder, or a file to read from, I want to create it here. So new file, file.txt. And in file.txt, I'm going to go ahead and put just hello world. Save that off. Okay. So now I can create public static void print file and call it from my main method. And it's going to have a scanner scan equals new scanner, new file, file.text. And I have red lines here, or red here, because these aren't imported yet, so I need to do Control or Alt Enter and do import class, java.util, and Alt Enter, file.io. So now I have both my file and my scanner imported properly. And now when I want it, okay. Unhandled exception. So I'm going to put this in a try catch. And I'm just going to catch the file not found exception. So now the unhandled exception went away. And so now I'm just going to say system.out.println file.txt does not exist. So now I want to say while scan dot has next system.out.println print scan dot next. Okay, so now I'm going to hit the green play button again. Okay, so I'm reading that file.txt does not exist. Let's see why that is. So the reason I'm getting that is because my file.txt is in source when it should be here in just the lunch and learn. So let's see what happens over here. Play again. I got hello world. Now I got hello world all butted up against each other because I didn't put a new line or a space character here. So let's do that. Great. Now it's printed hello world. But if I have a new line here and then I do testing, and run again, I just got testing on the same line as hello world, and that's not what I want. So what I really want to do is say while it has next line, system.out.println the next line. So let's see what that does. Exactly like what I wanted. It took the new line characters into account, and it prints exactly what the file looks like. So great. That's what I wanted. So the practice for later is to write a program that takes in a file as input, reads its contents, and counts how many times each letter in the alphabet and each number 0 to 9 occurs in the file. These stats should be printed at the end of the program. They can be printed in whatever format you think makes sense. Okay, so that's the practice. And that's it. I hope this was helpful.